From teacher to real estate professional, stick with us today to learn how Lena Keith made the transition and became an RIS Media Rookie of the Year finalist. She closed 29 transactions for a little over $5.5 million in sales in her first year. This is from someone who doesn't look at real estate as sales. Rather, it's about helping people. And Lena has built lifelong friendships with her clients throughout her journey. We explore how she works with for sale by owner, open houses, and connects with clients on social media. Lena took the real estate world by storm and now has the nickname Realtor Mama.
Welcome to Unlocking Real Estate My First Commission, where we dive into real stories, big wins, and early lessons learned from highly successful rookie real estate agents and brokers. This is the series where we explore how real estate transforms lives, one home at a time, by sitting down each week with a new agent or broker who has found incredible success in their first year. Your hosts are instructors and leaders at Colibri Real Estate School, one of the largest real estate educators in the nation, where we focus on helping people like you get started or find continued success in their careers.
Hello, and welcome to Unlocking Real Estate, My First Commission. I'm your host, Tina Lapp. I've been in real estate education for over 30 years, helping individuals enter and thrive in their new career.
Hi, I'm Frank Fields. I'll be your co-host. I'm a real estate broker in North Carolina. For over 25 years, I've been working with buyers and sellers. For over 15 years, I've been a real estate instructor at the largest real estate school in North Carolina, Superior School of Real Estate.
We are here today with Lena Keith. Lena, will you take a moment to introduce yourself, where you live, and what company you're with?
Sure. I'm Lena Keith. I'm a realtor in the greater Cincinnati area. I'm genuinely only licensed in Kentucky, but our office is looking at Cincinnati, so that's kind of how we're usually referred to. It's Pivot Realty Group here on the 8th floor of a building that's looking at the river.
So, Lena, let me ask you, what were you doing before you started in real estate?
I was teaching elementary school. So huge difference here from there. It was COVID times. I joined real estate in 21. So teaching was feeling a little bit different, and I was looking for something else, but I was teaching everything K through 5, helping kids that needed a little extra help with writing and math and reading.
Okay, so what would you say? Is that what inspired you, sort of all the changes that were taking place during COVID?
It was a big part of knowing that I needed to pivot, actually. It was a different time. I wasn't working in the classroom. I was seeing my kids online and sometimes not. And it was just a whirlwind of changes. And I started thinking about changing, and my husband had been encouraging it for a couple years prior to that. So it was when I really took a hard look at it.
Was there any one thing that you would say? Because a lot of people go through that same experience. They're thinking about it. Maybe I'll do it. I've always considered it. Was there this specific moment or a person, you said your husband influenced you, that you just went, okay, I'm going to take the leap?
Well, when you're at home, you're talking about the things that aren't great in your life. So he was hearing a lot, even before COVID, really, just some of the difficulties. I don't want to badmouth education.
I used to be a teacher, so I can relate.
Yeah.
It's challenging.
Yeah. There were a lot of challenging things, and he kept telling me that he thought I would be happier somewhere else, and I felt like I needed to keep teaching because teaching is more of a calling than a career.
True.
So it was a hard thing to break away, but I guess I realized when I could no longer. So our district had this rule that we had to go into the school and teach from there, even though none of our children were there.
Right.
And we also couldn't keep our personal children at school. They had to stay home. So it came to a point where, like, am I a mom or a teacher? I want to be both. And if I can't be both, I'm choosing my family. Right. So that was probably the biggest precipitator in that choice.
Well, I will say as an instructor, I've found teachers often make the best real estate agents because would you agree that working with your clients is a lot about educating them on the process and being a
Yes,
teacher in that role?
completely. Completely. It's the parallels are so much more than what I ever would have dreamt of, because in my mind it was sales and I don't know how to sell anything, but real estate is not selling. I'm usually trying to talk people out of houses and telling them why this is probably not the right one for you. So yeah, it's a lot about educating, and that feels good in talking to people.
Did you grow up in Kentucky? Is that, and if so, where you grew up, was there something that affected you in growing up to make you make a decision to move into real estate?
Not really. None of that was a big part of what I chose. I grew up in the country. We were a mile from our closest neighbor. Real estate was not really a thing. It's if you're selling out there, you're usually selling a farm. So it was not part of my childhood. I didn't really think about it at all. It was truly just looking at what could I be good at? Google searches of what can teachers do when they stop teaching. Those kinds of things is where this came from.
Sounds like it was just the right timing. Timing was just
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
So, Lena, here you are, you're a teacher, you've decided, like, I'm going to take this leap, I'm going to get into real estate. Walk us through the process of getting your license.
Okay. So I met with Pivot before I did anything else. I had a phone interview. I came in and talked to them in the office. I really had no idea what real estate looked like or how to start. And Pivot offers you the opportunity. They pair with, well, it's Calibri now, used to be Hondros. They pair with that company. So they were able to show me exactly where I needed to go, what licensing looked like. They helped with some of the proctored things. All of the steps were kind of encapsulated here in the office, which made it really nice for somebody who was my age, taking a leap from one career to another. It was laid out really nicely. And I was still teaching the whole time that I was doing it. So I couldn't have asked for an
Wow.
easier transition.
It is a lot, though. Do you take classes online or in the classroom or live
I
stream?
did.
How'd you
Well,
do
at
it?
that point, everything was online. So I
Yeah.
did do the online classes, and I probably I d- I didn't do it the way that brokers would want you to do. Maybe I did weekends. I was teaching, and it was a lot of teaching because I was making online classes for my kids. So it was too much to try to do it on the night. So I prioritized it on the weekend. I kind of made it my weekend job and got through it that way.
So now, when you say you took it online, did you take it live stream or self-paced?
It was self-paced.
Wow. And that's a lot. So you're teaching during the week, you're doing classes on the weekends, you're a mom. Like a lot of people think about that, like, how am I
Right.
going to do this? And you did it. How long
Yeah.
did it take you to get through the classes?
So the classes were it was a little longer than what you really need to do because it was only weekends, but I probably spent 3 months doing classes.
Hey, that's pretty fast. Switching from being a teacher into real estate, 3 months. So it was a lot for
It
three
was a
months.
lot. It was a lot.
And then you went out and you took your state exam and found yourself licensed.
Yes,
Yeah.
I found myself licensed about a month and a half before school was out. So I kind of sat back and took that time to tell people that I was going to be a realtor, but didn't really work in it. I wasn't coming into the office because I knew that there was no way. So June 1st was our first day of summer, and it was my first day in the office, and I started trying to do as much as I could as quickly as I could.
So, Lena, I'm curious, what did you expect that first year was going to be like? Um,
Well, they were very honest with me here that a lot of agents take a long time to get transactions closed, and I didn't want it to take a long time. I'm very independent. My husband was willing to support me through it, but I wasn't willing to let him. So I came in and I said, what do I do to do it the fastest? And I had a great mentor, and he recommended some things, and I had to structure a new life that I did not understand yet.
Can you share any of those things? Maybe just one or two of those experiences or those things
Sure.
that your mentor recommended that really made a difference for you?
Sure. So for me, I leaned hard into FISBOs. I felt like everybody who knew me as a teacher, and they weren't going to take me seriously to sell their house. And I went after those for sale by owners, and I was super honest of, I'm brand new. Let me help you. You're also new to this, but I've got people backing me up that like, I know things, and I have all these forms that you need. So let me help. And I learned quickly to get as much data for them as I could. And I would make those phone calls and go meet as many of them in person as I could. And my first 10 listings, maybe minus one or two that were friends that trusted me well, were all for sale by owners that listed with me and were happy with the result. And those reviews kind of let the next person trust me to do it as well.
Nice. So you focused a lot on the for sale by owners. Anything else that was, a key to those early days in your success?
Yeah, I think I could have focused on the for sale by owners and not had any success had I not figured out how to make a schedule for myself. So I listened to a lot of podcasts. I tried to pull the things that felt like something I could do naturally. One of those things was the point system, where you gave yourself half a point for every person that you got to speak to, and you had to get 4 points a day or your day was not over. So that forced me to make those phone calls, and if they didn't answer, it didn't count. So it was really important to me to know, like, that's my time for being in the office. This is what I have to get done. Because when you're used to, this is my schedule for the day, and these are the things I'm teaching, and this is how my day is going to look, switching to, okay, I work for myself, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Do you by
schedule.
chance have a background in athletics? You play sports growing up?
I did not play any sports. I'm not a sporty person.
Sounds like you're a competitive person, though. That sounds like you took and you had a focus. You were like, hey, I've got to have a systematic approach, not just.
I always say that my biggest competitor is myself. I always try to beat myself and do better than I did before. So I have found a competitor inside of me that I didn't know was there since I switched into this. But yes, you have to keep pushing. That's
push
probably
yourself,
the most
right.
important
Nobody
thing.
else is going to push you, right?
Nobody else is standing there going, oh, you've got to clock in and do the, you've got to have that ability to
so then maybe
your schedule.
this would, what are some of the big challenges and what did you overcome? Maybe just one, the biggest challenge, and how did you overcome it? I mean,
the biggest challenge was exactly what I did, calling people and trying to sell myself. It felt so foreign to me at first. So I really had to sort of hone what I was saying to them so that I could still be myself.
Ooh,
and be
scripts.
genuine.
That sounds like maybe scripts. Did you use that? You like those? Some people do, some people don't.
I started looking at scripts, and I would actually, there were some online people that would make the calls online and let you watch them. And I would just pull little pieces of it. But I couldn't do a script because it didn't feel authentic. And I'm nothing if I'm not just authentic. I am me all the time, and this is what you get, kind of thing. So
Right.
I had to figure out what that looked like for me and not what somebody else said. I didn't want to try to say the same thing that somebody else did.
But it sounds like you had that, they were like a mentor or support group that you're watching the online, somebody do it, and you're learning from watching them.
Right.
That's great. So, Lena, what are some funny or memorable experiences that you remember from your early days? Maybe something you did wrong, an interesting client. Yeah.
There are so many, I guess, because it is a series of events when you start doing something like this. You mentioned funny client, feeling like you did something wrong. one of my first buyer clients walked into an open house, and I was very, very new. It was, I think, my second listing. I'm doing this open house, and she comes in, and I'm telling her about the house, and she was like, I don't really care about the house. I'm shopping for a real estate agent today. So I was like, what did I say to myself? Yeah. And it felt so ridiculous that I didn't know I still don't remember what I said to her. But we have been working for the entire 3.5, 4 years since I met her. She's an investor from California. I've helped her purchase 9 or 10 homes now. And
Nice.
yeah, so it was a funny, weird thing that happened. And sorry, I've lost my mic. But yeah, it was just a crazy experience to have somebody do that and not know what to say and have no basis for knowing what to answer.
But what a great lesson there. And especially for our audience, like we hear a lot about like, oh, do I do an open house? Do I work an open house? And there it is. Like there's clients right there in front of you. And now you have transactions from that client you met there. Have you done a lot of open houses since then?
Yes. Every listing I have gets at least an open house. If it sits on the market, I'll do several. I have volunteered to do open houses for other agents, especially when, I didn't have a ton of listings myself. I was always walking around the office like, hey, I saw this one. Can I do an open house for you? And
That's
I've
huge.
picked up lots of clients that way.
Yeah, that's great for our audience because they may go, well, I'm new, I don't have any listings. And
Right.
yeah, absolutely ask other listing agents in your office. They'll be glad to let you host open houses.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And getting clients that way. What are some other ways that you were able to secure new clients?
So in the last couple of years, I would say that most of my clients come from either finding me in social media. I've had several reach out just because they saw my reviews. They're Google searching for a realtor and they like what my clients have said. So for me, it's really important to ask for the review. If you don't ask, most people don't put it out there. And that gets me a lot of new clients that I wouldn't even have any access to without them finding me that way.
Mm-hmm. Talk more about your social media presence. What are some of the things? Obviously, you're putting reviews and sharing that out there, but what else do you do with social media?
So I'm on Facebook primarily. I am that age group that Facebook is kind of the key. I don't find that I'm getting lots of people who don't know me there. I mean, my network has grown. I've got, I don't know, like 3,000 people on there, but I do feel like it's all of the people that I knew, like the past life educator person. They are starting to see me as a real estate agent now because I just keep that out there. I try to tell the stories. I don't do the post of pending and, here we go. I try to tell a story with my posts and I do a lot of that. I do TikTok. I'm not super comfortable with TikTok, but if I'm at an open house, it's getting filmed and I'm putting it out there and I'll do silly posts and things like that. But I feel like it's primarily Facebook for me. All of my sphere kind of sees me there and I've gotten a reputation. Everybody thinks of me as an agent now, which I thought that would take a lot longer and it hasn't.
So Lena, I got a question about that. So you're doing this on your personal Facebook page or you have a business page?
I have both, and I tried to use my business page a lot when I first started. I feel like my personal page, like I said, I try to just be authentic. I don't want to be the salesperson. I want to help people find their home.
Right.
I want to do well by them. And I feel like it fits on my personal page just as well as a business page.
So then that brings up my next question. How much would you say percentage-wise of your posts are real estate related and how much are just personal fun about your family? 80-20, 50-50? What do you think?
It might be 80-20, but even my real estate posts typically have something about my family. Like we go on a vacation and I get those calls that everybody gets when you're
there's
on a trip.
vacations in real estate.
There are attempted going out of town
That's
times.
when all the listings, that's when everybody calls you and wants to see property.
It is. And so my posts about that are, here I am with my family, da 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 da, and I sold a house today. And I just try to kind of make it funny. I make it real. But yeah, I try to incorporate both a lot.
And I like how you said that. I make it funny. I make it real. Real is funny.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The real world is funny. And I
It
appreciate
is.
that you find the humor there. Lena, how long after you got licensed did you secure your first transaction and get to the closing table?
So closing table came about 3 months after my license.
Pretty
So,
good. Pretty good.
that was in here calling those FSBOs. I got a listing. Actually, I was helping someone with a buyer, and we went to a FSBO because I was so into looking those up. And she liked the house and made an offer, and he rejected it. And he called me and said, "What could I have done differently? Why?" And we listed it and had it sold in a week. So he was my first closed transaction.
That's fantastic. So in your first year, you're just learning. What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced?
Honestly, just figuring out how to read the data and reach people, make them trust me, I guess, with it. I do think that my age and my teacher background helped a lot. But I think if you learn it to the point that you can speak it to other people in a way that shows you understand, that was the big thing. I had to put my head down and really learn listings, learn doing comps, learn all of it. I mean, there are a lot of pieces to real estate.
So, hey, how about the paperwork? Is that something some people either seem to be a natural, and I imagine as a teacher, you're probably really organized and handling, all the documents and keeping files. But some people
Yeah.
struggle with that. And, how did you handle that?
Pivot provides .loop for us, so the filing is no problem because everything is there. Anything that I do for any transaction goes immediately to the loop, and I keep it, and that way I don't have to worry about where was that or where was this. Filling out contracts and things like that did come naturally to me. I've done paperwork for years and years and years for teaching, so that wasn't really a struggle for me. And I think around here and probably other brokerages too, there are enough people that can help you with the contract side of things. I feel like that should never be something that holds somebody back.
That's good advice. I like that. Because when people are getting started, it is a little bit overwhelming, right? Like,
Yes,
how
a
do I
lot.
do this? What do I do next? And it sounds like you have a really good support system, which is
Yes.
tremendous.
Yes, I would highly recommend this brokerage to anybody. They have our backs completely, and from day one you feel supported, and you know that we have an admin at the desk that looks over every contract. So if you do screw something up, she's our saving grace.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you that, what you'd recommend to aspiring somebody who, think about where you were a year or two ago and thinking about,
Right.
What advice would you have for that person? Maybe learning from some of the mistakes you made. Hey, what would you tell that person?
I think it's really find your niche, however you want to say it, and go full in. I think so many people come in and we all kind of like, there's so many ways to do it. You don't really know how to start, and it's picking one and then going all the way with it. Don't let up, and you can't get discouraged. I think that's the thing everybody seems to do. You have a client who decides not to list or not to buy with you, or a transaction falls apart, and you just feel yourself kind of, oh, maybe I'm not as good at this, and you've just got to keep going. You create momentum and learn as you go. Make sure that you're learning from your mistakes, though.
It's huge. You have any books that you've read that you'd recommend?
Yeah. So I do a lot of audiobooks now because I'm driving constantly. But one that I actually sat down and read was Everything is Figure Outable. And it was a phrase that I had seen like literally in like a home goods store and loved the phrase. I didn't know it was a book. I like bought the sign, Everything is Figure Outable for my desk. And then I realized it was a book. Um, and I think that's the
Did you
way,
like the book as much
especially
as the sign?
I did. The book is good. It had a lot of reminders for just getting your mindset right and following through. And there really isn't something that you can't figure out how to handle. Um, I think it's important to know that it might take an outside person calling somebody else in if you need, but you can get through any of it.
Yeah. Lena, is there a particular client experience that stands out to you, one that maybe touched your heart? Or, I know you're all about service and helping, and like that's so inspirational. Is there one off the top of your head you can share?
There have been several with like first time buyers that you feel what an impact you're making in their life, especially when they think they can't buy. But there was one, this young lady who had been widowed. She had two children and she really wanted to buy her house. And she's so strong and so smart and brave and all those things. But she wanted it, and we were moving really quickly toward it. And then we had a house inspection. Inspection day is always difficult. And the inspector left. We had talked to him. All of the things were done, and it was figure outable. She broke down crying, and I had to kind of walk her through like, these are our options. And we had a really good talk. And that night she called me and thanked me for like letting her cry and talking her through it. And she still will tag me on things as her realtor mama. I've adopted that hashtag in all of my posts because it was just so special that she listened and trusted me, and she felt that I was able to calm her down and reason through something that was, big. And she's still living in the house, planning and selling in a year or so, and promises that I'll be the one selling it for her. So it all worked out.
So, Lena, situations like that, do you find that you really develop more than just a business relationship with some of your clients? I mean, that they really become close friends?
Yes. Yeah, truly, truly they do. I am referred to as family of several clients. That girl, I sold her grandmother's house. I helped her mom shop for a house. They refer to me as family. When her grandmother passed away, I got a text letting me know. That's special. You can't, like, I thought I was leaving teaching and this was going to be a very impersonal kind of thing. And I have found that the connections here are lasting longer than, some of the kids come back and say hi, but, they move on. These people I'm really connected to.
I love that so much. I literally have the chills right now. Like it's awesome.
Oh,
Lena, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
that's a good question. I see myself still here, still selling. I always said I didn't want to be on a team, didn't want to do the team thing. But as you grow and you grow, it's like I'm already thinking I should probably maybe look at a transaction coordinator. I might need something so I just have a little free time. So yeah, maybe on a team, probably still in this same building and still working in this area. I love what I do. I can't imagine leaving it.
Let me clarify. So you said you didn't want to be on a team, but what I heard you say is you might end up having to form your own team because you need the help, and it sounds like you're moving toward having more business than you can
Yeah.
handle.
Yeah.
That's a good problem to have.
It's a very good problem to have. I'm very blessed with how these
So
last
then
2
you're going to
years have gone,
form the
really.
team. You know. It'll be
I
your
think
team.
I think I'm not. You can't hold me to it. I don't know if I want to be responsible for that or not, but that's what it looks like it might go to.
I love that. Any tips or tricks you'd like to share with aspiring real estate agents?
Tips or tricks? Don't trick. Be honest. I think the people who worked with me when I was new, they worked with me because I told them I was new. You're never going to trick somebody into believing you've got years of experience. They can Google you. They can look at your social media. They can look at your stats.
Love
So
that.
don't try.
Yeah, I think that's great. So, Lena, we're going to have some fun, jump into a lightning round. I'm going to ask you a question. Give me the first thing that comes to your mind, 60 seconds or less. If we had a time machine and you could go back to the day you started this journey, what advice would you give yourself, or what might you do differently?
So do it faster. I think I would do it faster. I would not be so scared of picking up the phone, and I would just jump in and do all the things that I was told to do.
Yeah. It sounds like you did it pretty fast, by the way. So,
I think
but
so, yeah.
I love it. If you could have dinner with one person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
You're getting me teary-eyed, and this is supposed to be a fun round. My grandmother. She passed away not long before I started that, like months before I started this, and I would love to talk to her about all the things now. And
Yeah. I love that. It's
I think she would
beautiful.
be real proud of you.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm proud of you. That's awesome. Lena, what'd you do at work yesterday? Tell us about your day.
Oh, work yesterday. So it was my birthday. Well, 2 days ago was my birthday, but
Happy
yesterday was
birthday.
kind of thanks. I showed some houses, and I came in here and got some contract work done. And what else did I do? It was, I heard about an appraisal. I scheduled a few things, and I did some comps for a listing. It was a busy real estate day.
Busy real estate day, and that's a good thing when they're busy, right?
Yes.
Does it end at 5 o'clock? It's 9 to 5, right? Pretty much.
Oh, for sure. Except the beauty of it is the freedom means that if it is at 9 o'clock, I can still be at home. I am no longer jumping out of bed into the shower and out the door. I can make my morning what I want it to be, to some degree. Not every day, but to some degree. But it did not end. I think I got home at 8 o'clock after showings.
Okay. And talk a little bit more about that. Sorry, you sparked a little thought. Talk a little bit about your schedule, the flexibility, but the realities of having that flexibility.
Right. So that was sort of the problem and the blessing at the beginning of this journey, because I didn't know what to do with the free time. But I do remember every time, it sounds so cliche or silly, whatever, but I would be taking the exit to come into the office and think, this is what freedom feels like. Like, I can plan to go to lunch with somebody if I want to. I can call people and take them out for coffee and talk about this. As a former teacher, every minute of my day was scheduled, every minute. So it just, the feeling of freedom, but also knowing if you don't use your time wisely, you're not going to have any business. So it really is a balance of, I like to do yoga and meditate and drink coffee in the morning. So the trade-off is sometimes I'm working in the evening, but it gets to be my life and my choices more so than somebody else.
On that note, let me ask this. How do you put boundaries around that and keep your real estate career from just taking over your life when you have like kids, recitals, sport events, or family time?
Yeah. So one of my daughters dances. And when I first started this, one of my first transactions, I don't remember if it was inspections, but something that felt urgent was going on when she was dancing down at a college. They had dance camp, and it was the day that all the families were coming to watch all the performances. And I was getting phone calls, and I walked out at one point. And all the way home, I thought, and I didn't even miss her dance, but I just felt terrible that I took the chance that she could have been the next one to come on stage, and I would have been outside on my phone. So I don't know if I'm the right person to explain how to set boundaries. I'm working on it.
It's a constant.
It's still a big part of trying to figure out that balance, because I can't neglect a client and I can't neglect my family. So I have learned to say I have an appointment. I'm much better at that. And, if there's something important that my kids have, that is my appointment and I will call you back. Nothing's going to burn down in 2 hours. Mm-hmm. So it can usually wait, but that's a learning curve too.
It takes discipline on both sides, right? And you talked earlier about the point system. I love that. So that was great. So Lena, where can listeners or viewers connect with you and follow your journey?
Well, Facebook, I'm Lena Keith Realtor on there, or Lena Barnett Keith. That's my personal page. That's where everything is. I'm on TikTok and Instagram as Lena Keith Realtor. I'm Lena Keith Realtor everywhere. So if you Google that, you'll see stuff about me, and I would love to connect with more.
That's great. Or Realtor Mama, I've heard.
Yes, you might hashtag Realtor Mama, and I hopefully will come up. I try to put it everywhere.
Love it. So, Lena, thank you for spending time with us today and sharing your journey. I know this story will inspire those interested in getting started in real estate. And congratulations to you on being a 2023 RIS Media Rookie of the Year finalist, and on the tremendous success your first year and now into the future. Best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to Unlocking Real Estate, My First Commission. We hope today's stories and insights inspired you to take that next step in your real estate journey. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode, or head over to our channel to see some of the other content we've produced. We'd also love to hear from you. Drop a comment below with your biggest takeaway or a question for our next guest. If you have a recommendation for someone we should interview, please send a note to unlockingrealestate@colibrirealestate.com.